So I'll still have our chat and stuff going, but we'll see if there's anybody active on YouTube. We're still in bullish context overall here, guys. You know, price action's choppy, but it's been holding the 20 SMA on your higher time frame on that 15 minute. It's also holding VWAP. So each time it kind of comes down into this zone here, you know, between 820s, 840s, it's getting a nice little bounce. For me personally, I would say that you don't really have a lot of downside opportunity until you start to lose 815. There was a whole floor that was created here between, let's call it 815 and 915, 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, where we built up this little base and then kind of tested that initial balance. We tested that high closer to 21,891. Right now, this is an active 20 SMA long. Again, it's very simple. You draw a box around the reason why candle. That's a 14-point range. That's your risk. If you start to trade below it, you close below that, you exit the trade. You're putting up 14 points of risk to potentially take 7 to 15 points profit. Now, if you don't like operating a negative risk to reward, then you have to tell yourself, I'm going to take lower wins, like I'm going to have a lower win rate percentage, but you're going to make more money, right? If you take a negative risk to reward, you're going to have a higher win rate percentage. You just need to be really good at walking away when you hit a couple of winning trades, right? What gets people into trouble with the higher win rate percentage and the negative risk to reward per trade is that they overtrade. Because, well, if it wins so much, why wouldn't I just continue to trade, right? Wrong. You always have to, and again, I look at risk and reward in terms of the day. So if my average winning day is $250 to $400, I don't want to lose any more than $400 on a day. I don't care if that's in one trade. I don't care if that's in 5 trades, in 2 trades. I don't want to lose more than that, right? But that's where people get screwed up, is they try to, you know, make $1,000 and they try to risk $100, right? Is it going to happen some days? Sure, maybe. But the probability that you're going to do that on a day in and day out basis is pretty slim to none. So, you know, you have to understand what it is you're looking for, right? Because a lot of times traders, they can't wrap their heads around negative risk to reward. But my question is what can you not wrap your head around? Right? What is so difficult to understand about it, right? When you're trading prop firms, this is not to be the world's greatest trader. This is to make money. So I need to accumulate more winning days than I do losing days, and I need to avoid big blow up days or big blow up trades before I get to that threshold where I can request a payout. And that's it. And it's rinse, wash, and repeat. And every account that you have is not going to make it to payout, right? You might run into that problem if your risk is large, right? Like if you're risking $1,000 a day, you know, 2.5 days, your account's gone. If you're risking $500 a day, max total loss, well, you got a little bit more skin to work with. You know, that account might survive 4 to 5 losing days in a row before it blows up, right? But when you think about it, unless your strategy is operating at a 0% win rate, should you ever really lose 5 days in a row based solely on technicals, solely on your strategy, solely on your setup, solely on your playbook? I can see how someone loses 4 or 5 days in a row getting in their own way, right? Over trading, over leveraging, not trading outside of your trade window. A lot of those things is what screws a lot of traders up. It's not particularly the strategy. It's why it's like, that's what sells. What's the best strategy? What's the best model? What's the best way to make $1,000,000 today? That's what sells. That's what sells. But realistically, it's you. It's you who is underselling yourself a lot of the times. Just again, if you lose the first trade and you lose 250, you lose $300, what's the problem in opening up another account? Why would you want to put more damage on that one account that you just took a $200-300 loss in, right? Assuming that your daily loss limit's $300 or something, right? Why would you want to put more stress on yourself? Just go open up another account. If you don't have another account, go buy another account, right? You don't want to buy another account, then you probably shouldn't be trading. That's what I tell people a lot of times is, okay, so you took a loss. So what? Go buy another account. Well, it's not in my budget. I don't really want to go sign up for a new account. Then guess what? You don't trade today. What are you going to do? Sit and cry about it? Then go cry to someone else. Go cry about it to your wife or your husband or something, right? Because like I told you guys earlier, this is a thick-skinned business, like this trading stuff. Like you got to be like pretty like you got to have a pretty calloused mind and attitude, right? So, this is not a, let me throw a temper tantrum and maybe things will go in my favor later. Not really, right? Not really. Like no one cares about your feelings. No one, I'm just being honest, right? Like I don't expect anyone to give a shit if I take a losing trade. I don't really think that anyone cares if I win. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, you guys are not putting food on my table when I take my trades, just like I'm not putting food on your table when you guys take trades. So what do you have to do to, what do you have to do to get over that so you can start putting some food on your table with this trading stuff, right? I mean, comes a point in time in every trader's journey, as people like to say, where something starts to click. And, normally what starts to click is you just, your head starts to hurt from running it into the wall a million times, So a lot of people like to talk price and talk setups and stuff. Guys, we're in an active long here. So if you're not long, I don't know what the hell you're doing, right? Like, I'm not in an active long. But if I was going to take a trade, I would have wanted to be in here near our demand zone, right? Again, like, I'm using a 20 SMA strategy today, guys. It's very, very simple strategy. Very simple strategy. I taught it on YouTube for years now. So this is your demand zone. This is your reason why candle. It's 14 points. You should have gotten in on the confirmation. And your stop loss goes below that demand zone. That's it. Your ATR is 16 points. So a 1-to-1 is 16 points. A negative risk to reward would be like 8 to 10 points on that scalp. If you're a trader who likes to trail, then you're taking profits off at 8 to 12 points, and then you're moving stop loss to break even, and then you're holding that trade, right? You're holding that trade, seeing how much water you can squeeze out of that rock. And that's it, right? A lot of people like to think, well, what should I be looking to go long here? No, you should have already been long. Well, should I look to reverse here? Well, we haven't got a real setup here to reverse, right? And again, if you want to go against that higher time frame bias, be my guest, but you have to use a previous swing high as a stop, right? So if you start to close above like 886, you got to get out of the trade. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't really recommend doing that. But again, I get it, right? I get it. Some people find it difficult to continue to go with the trade, and they're always looking to for the reversion back to the mean, which is fine, but you got to be able to analyze the risk, right? Like we need those people, because without those people wanting to go short here, there's no liquidity, right? The same thing for if you're going long. You want those people to be selling into you, right? Because that's your exit liquidity. It's common sense game here, and you can make a case. You can make a case for a double-sided trade. And you know what gets me about the whole social media game of trading is that, oh, it's got to be this way. It can't be that way. Nope, got to be long. Can't go this way. I know people who are making money constantly going against a trend. That's what they do. They go against a trend, right? So there's not a one size fits all here. It's basically, you know, 1,000 ways to skin the cat. How are you going to do it? Right? How much risk are you going to put up on the table? Again, if you're a type of trader who's going against a trend, looking for pullbacks in an uptrending market, sure, you're going to take some paper cuts, but your stop losses should be nice and tight, right? You know, your stop losses should be tight. You know, if you're a type of trader who goes with the trend, well, then you should continue to be on the same side of the trend, right? Again, like as I was kind of going over inside of our Discord community earlier, was realistically, it should have been a long-sided bias since the open, right? Since the open. You know, after the first 15 minutes of the market, we reclaimed VWAP, we reclaimed 20 SMA, we had multiple setups that put us to the long side. Multiple setups. Set up long here, pull back. Set up long here, pull back. Set up long here. You know, that's at least 3, 4, 5 setups to the long side that you should have been looking to trade. And again, you know, the big thing I hear is, well, market's chopping, it's going sideways, it's going sideways. Ay, vey. There's the same people who say when the market is trending, I'm not getting a spot to go long. I'm not getting a spot to go long because it's not pulling back. It's the same. It's like everyone's always wants a fucking excuse for why you suck at trading. Like, and don't get me wrong, we all suck at trading. Like none of us are really that good, right? It's just a lot of us have kind of figured out a way to like make us not suck as bad, right? Or figured out a way to kind of like extract some cash, versus other people are still trying to look for the Holy Grail, which I get it, right? Everyone wants to look for the Holy Grail. You know, everyone wants to look for the Holy Grail. Everyone wants to believe that they can make $100,000 this month, you know, with only investing, you know, maybe $100. You know, I get it. But realistically speaking, you know, this is a money in versus money out game. The more money you put in, the more money you have potentially to take out, right? You don't want to get stagnant. You know, I could make a case here for a trend line break on this 5-minute chart here. You know, do we trust it? I don't know, right? I don't know if we trust it. You know, market's pushing higher. I would have to look at an area of supply, which would be 21,890. That's going to be this initial balance high. You know, typically, guys, 70-80% of the time, the market at least tests or breaks initial balance in the trading day. And that's a fact. That's not just like me pulling some random statistic out of my ass. If you want to get the statistic, you can go to like a company like Edgeful or something that's got a bunch of market data, and it will tell you the percentage of time that in a New York trading session, price action breaks initial balance. People build strategies around the initial balance, just like people build strategies around opening range breaks, whether it's you know, the first candle, the first minute, up to the first 30 minutes of an initial balance. You know, traders that trade with me in Evolution Traders know we built strategies around the 30-minute opening range. And, you know, typically you see a breakout or breakdown every day, right? And whether it's a continuation or nothing more than a reversal, there's a case to be made that you can build a solid model or a solid trading playbook around that 30-minute opening range, you know. And I still believe that a lot of traders should probably sit out the first 30 minutes of the market. If you're not actively taking out money on a month-by-month basis, you should probably ignore a lot of the action in the first 15 to 20 minutes, you know. You should realistically wait for the volatility to kind of die down and allow some of these patterns to form before you start taking trades, you know. How do I play trend line breaks? I wait for them to break and then get confirmed. That's how I do it, right? I typically want to stay in line with the higher time frame bias. And again, for me, when I say higher time frame, I'm not looking at, you know, a 4 hour, 1 hour, you know, weekly chart. I'm day trading, right? So I'm scalping a lot of the times. My higher time frame confluence is a 15-minute chart. Okay. So I want to kind of stay in line with that 15-minute chart as best as I can, you know, win, lose, or draw, and just kind of live with the outcome, right? So here's your break. We've already broken it. Here's your confirmation. What you would want to see in a situation like this is you want to see a push at least up into a previous swing high. Now, the only thing here is you have to keep in mind that your demand zone here on this trade is way down here between 840 and 860, right? So if it does decide to pull back, it could pull back here. With the 16-point ATR, I'm looking for 8 to 12 points on my scalps at this specific time. I'm not really expecting a whole lot. You know, price action is a little flat. You want to be a little bit quicker when you're getting out of these trades. So let's just kind of see what this wants to do here. There's your first break. Also, you know, there's a lot of ways to do this, right? So what you can do is wait for whatever time frame that you're trading, wait for that candle that has broken your level to then get confirmed. So if we use this as an example, this 5-minute candle has broken this trend line, right? Some could make a case where this is like a little flag pattern here on a 5-minute chart. You can make a case that if we confirm the high at any point in time, 21,878, we can target 890s. If we don't confirm that high, 878 and a half, then there's no trade, right? There's no trade. That's what we can do. You know, there's a lot of different ways that you can analyze this. You know, maybe we get something here to kind of cap off this PM session here in New York. You know, if you kind of look back at the way we've been trading over the last week, you know, we've put in some big moves going into power hours, some big moves coming out of lunchtime. You know, when people are quote unquote saying the market is chopping, it's not doing anything, it's like you look back later in the day and it's like, boom, well, what the hell happened, right? Market just exploded, market just completely collapsed. You know, so maybe you can kind of mix that into your game plan where, hey, you know, if you didn't do so well off the open, if you didn't do so well in the day, you know, maybe you can kind of sit back a little bit and wait for something later in the day to develop and then present itself. You know, you have to trade the conditions that we're in, not the conditions that you want. And again, no one's perfect. You know, no one's perfect. You're not going to win every trade. You're not going to always make money every day. But that's the beautiful thing about trading. The same thing that's people hate about trading is the beautiful thing, is that you can make money really, really quickly, right? Really, really quickly with minimal effort. And you can also lose money very quickly with minimal effort, with a lot of effort, actually, right? You can put so much time and emphasis into, you know, what you're studying in the particular strategy and back testing and all this. And then you get to the charts, you show up and then it loses, right? It loses. And then that's when people start to fly off the handles, right? Well, you know, I spent all of this time trying to figure this out and it still doesn't work. Still doesn't work. Have you given yourself enough time? Like talk to me when you take 100 trades using the same setup. What are those results? 60% win rate, 62, 70% win rate, 55. What are the results here? What's the data telling you? Great. So if you win 55, 60% of the time on your trades and you lose X amount of dollars, you normally make X amount of dollars. Great. What is that little percentage in there that's profitable? Right? Is it an extra $1,000 a month? Great. How can we scale that? Let's go get some more accounts. How can we scale that? Let's maybe add one more contract to that. Yeah, the losses are gonna go up, but the wins are also gonna go up, right? But if you sit there and you say, well, you know, the last 3 days I've gotten chopped up here, nothing's really working, and oh, boo-hoo me, right? You don't have enough data, my friend. You just don't have enough data. And then you go start bouncing things around. You get tired and restless, and then you go and you start blowing up accounts because you're impatient. You're impatient, and then we all do it. We all do it, right? We've all been there before. We all do it. You know? So we can't get bored, guys. We can't get bored. You know, if you're a type of person who gets bored and you want to make money quickly and you want to fire trades, how many accounts do you have, right? We got to figure out something that is going to keep us from shooting ourselves in the foot. How many trades do you take a day? I take, 10 trades, someone says. Great. Have 10 accounts. That's what I say. Have 10 accounts. Trade each setup on a different account until you start to see which setup you like works. And, even if you only win 50% of the time, that should mean that 5 accounts are going to finish positive on the day, right? Be pretty impossible, even at a 50% win rate, that all 10 accounts are red, right? But why don't we do that? Oh, well, I don't make that much money if I trade, one account, and I'm going to have to take so many trades. Well, sure, you can always copy trade a couple. If you have 10 accounts, you can, if you take 4 to 5, 4 to 6 trades a day, you can maybe group those accounts up into batches of 2, right? But you have to figure out what works best for you. Does that work best for you? What do the numbers say? Like what's really going to work best for you as a trader? A lot of us want to go get 20 accounts and we want to go copy trade the same trades on all 20 accounts. But to be honest, most people, including myself, can't handle the 20 accounts at one time. And I can tell you why I don't like to do it. Because God forbid I take the first trade of the day that's a loser. Nothing I can do about it, right? I can't control the fucking outcome. The trade's a loser. I'm down $400 times 20 accounts, right? That's just going to light a fire on me to want to go get it back. I know that I don't do well doing that. So maybe for me, it's copy trading 2 to 3 accounts at a time. So sure, maybe if the first account loses $300-400, by the time the day's over, I've taken another 3 or 4 trades across the other batches of accounts and made money on them. So I don't really feel so bad about the first account that took a loss. And I also protected that account as well. Choppy day for trading, a break-even day today, sticking to my rules. Yeah, good. You have to think about it. Every day is not going to present itself. It's not going to present an A+ trading opportunity for your particular setup. Maybe some people crushed it today. Right, guys? You guys are going to go look at YouTube and look at social media, look at Twitter. There's going to be so many people out there that crushed it today, right? Their strategies just performed well today. Maybe yours didn't, right? Doesn't mean that you need to go figure out what they're doing so you make money on this particular day you didn't do so well. No. You come back tomorrow because tomorrow your strategy can crush it, right? It's a numbers game. It's a you versus you game. Nobody really, Nobody really cares if you win or lose. So it's a you versus you game. You're trying to be better than what you did yesterday. You're trying to be a better trader than how you were yesterday. Don't take that too much into, don't give it too much weight, Drewski. Mondays and Fridays, like don't put Mondays and Fridays in a box. That's all I say. Because for every one person that says Mondays and Fridays were choppy, somebody took this setup here. Okay, if you look at my screen on the right hand side, somebody took this 10 a.m. reversal here, flush off the open, right? Flush off the open, reclaim of VWAP, reclaim of 20 SMA. You got a clear demand zone here. They've gotten long since 785, and this rode all the way up to 890. This is over 125 point move. This is a 10 a.m. reversal here, right? So that 10 a.m. candle starts here. You start to reclaim these areas of demand, and you're getting long in this area here, right? Those people aren't going to sit there and say that today's choppy, right? But if we didn't take that trade, that's not a part of our game, right? I didn't take that trade. Then yeah, we could say that, you know, hey, the market's just been going nowhere. It's all relative. It's all relative to the way you trade. Tomato, tomato, right? Some people made money, some people lost money, some people found some setups easy to take, some people found setups a little harder to take. It's not about that, you know. It's about picking your spots. You know, if typically your data is showing you that you underperform on Mondays and Fridays, then sure, maybe you want to cut your trade window, the amount of time, the amount of hours that you're spending in front of the screens, down to where you perform the best, right? Where you perform the best. You know. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that today is A+ price action, right? I mean, it's definitely not. Average true range on a 5-minute time frame now is 16 points. You know, there's not a whole lot of volatility. There's not a whole lot of range in these moves. It's kind of just pitter patter up, pitter patter back down, slowly grinding to the upside. So yeah, this is definitely not primo price action here, but you know, I mean, there's some ways to you know, skin a few bucks. It's just like when the market is surging to the upside, right? And it's like it leaves everyone in the dust. People sit back and say, oh, it was so hard to trade today because the market didn't pull back, and every time I went short, it just kept pushing higher, right? So when is it ever a really, you know, when is it ever a really good day for trading? You know what I've noticed? When people just make money, right? Like if you made money, you took 2 or 3 trades and you made money, oh, it was an easy day for you. It was an easy day for you. So winning and losing doesn't dictate if it's a good or bad day, in my opinion, right? A good day for trading is when you found 3 or 4 setups that align with your strategy. You took the setups, win, lose, or tie, win, lose, or draw on those 3 trades that you took. You followed your rules. That's a good day for trading. Hey, market just didn't fucking cooperate with me today and I didn't make any money. So what? But at least I did what I was supposed to do. A bad day in trading is when people are firing trades, they're losing, they're chopping up, they keep re-entering the same move that keep pissed them out of the position, and they just keep dwindling and dwindling and dwindling and paper cutting themselves to death, and they say this market sucks, it's a bad day today. No, the market sucked and it was a bad day today because you couldn't fucking control yourself. Like, I can guarantee you if the 3 to 4 trades that you took were winners, oh, you know, today is a fucking great day, right? Today's a great day. I've had days where the first trade that I take is a loser. And I'm seeing people 10 minutes off the open, you know, that took the opposite side of the trade and made all kinds of money, and they're done for the day. Great day for them, right? Great day for them. So that's why, you know, it's like I don't really pay it any mind. It's like my good day is, you know, did I find some things in the market to trade? That's my job. I got to find some setups. That's my job. I got to find the setups first. And when I find those setups, did I execute them the way that they're supposed to be executed, right? And then that's a good day, you know. Now, if I didn't find one setup today, then hey, maybe I can make a case for today's a bad day, but I don't think I can remember a day where the market didn't give me a setup. I don't think I can remember the day. Whether that setup won or it lost is a different story, but I can't remember a day where I didn't get my strategy to present itself at least once. Yeah, good, good, good. Nothing you can do about that. We live to trade another day. We live to trade another day. You stick to your rules. You come in tomorrow flat, essentially. It'd be very easy for you to sit there and say, screw this. I'm gonna go make my money back. Now that I'm break even, I'm gonna go make cash on the day. And, God forbid you take a loss, then you start to spiral, right? Then you start to do shit outside of your playbook. That's what gets people into trouble. Break even days are good. A lot of this trading stuff is break even, break even, break even, small loss, winner, right? It's a slow grind. It's a slow grind. It's not just big winning day, big winning day, big winning day. Those who do have big winning days after big winning days after big winning days are typically the same people who one day when they run into a little bit of trouble, boom, it's gone. Just like that. They undo 4 or 5 days of decent trading for one day that didn't cooperate with them. And then they're blaming the markets, or you're blaming the strategy, or you're blaming fucking Trump headlines or tweets or whatever, right? No, my friend. We got to learn to control those small days so we can be accepting of the big days. Again, tomato, tomato, right? Because the whole revenge trading thing is a vicious cycle. It's hard to break that cycle for a lot of traders. I know for me it was. For a long time, it was very, very hard to stop revenge trading, to accept that I need to walk away with the fucking red day and come back tomorrow, with the clear head. It took me a long time to just accept the fact that tomorrow I'm going to have another opportunity. There's going to be a whole new group of setups that I can take. My whole job is I got to make sure that I got money to trade tomorrow, right? If I go waste it all, go spend it all in one place today, what about if tomorrow was a beautiful day? And again, that's not to mean that, like, even on these worst, like on these, choppier days, that there's not setups. I mean, we can make a case right now. Like, I could get down into a 1 minute time frame and I can find something, right? Like, I can find something. So the question is do I want to? No, not really. Where the fuck's my price action at? So, if you get down into a 1 minute time frame here, we kind of look at this, right? Let's zoom in. Okay. We're kind of bumping our heads down here at this downwards trend line. We're creating another little bit of a flag pattern here. I can make a case that if we break this flag pattern to the downside, I can go short, right? I can make that case. Go short into demand. Do I want to? Not really. But I mean, we can't say that there's nothing to trade, right? Because here's a setup right here. Multiple touch points here, trading below your 20 SMA, below this trend line. We are kind of making these lower highs after lower highs after lower highs. If we break through, maybe we got an opportunity to go short here, right? Maybe. There might be someone who's going to go short here, someone who's going to make money, right? There might be someone looking to bounce this same spot. We can always make a case. Every minute there's something setting up. But does it align with your strategy, what you're trading today? For me, it doesn't. Today, I'm working this 5-minute time frame, and I'm working my 20 SMA trades. That's what I'm doing. So until I get them, I'm not going to do anything, right? I've taken a handful of trades today. I think I took 3 or 4 trades today. Play it nice and slow, you know. Nice and slow. I'm also interested in finding another trade today. I bought a handful of accounts from day traders. Oh, I bought a handful of accounts from daytraders.com. They dropped the Project X platform. I like Project X platform. I like the lockout feature. So I'm working on a handful of evaluations. Figured it's time to start getting some funded accounts with those guys and start beefing it up. You know, those of you guys who trade with me inside the Discord, I'm a Top Step and Apex guy, but I'm looking to expand, or actively trying to scale out the accounts right now. So day traders is 1, take profit trader is 2, and Tradeify will be 3. Those are the accounts that I'm going to be looking to add to the bag, you know. But right now they got the 90% off sale, so we're going to go with these guys first, right? They win. They win for right now. No, the day trader's static is in terms of a, it's not technically a funded account. It's not like a straight to sim funded account. It just means that your drawdown is static. It's not going to trail. TPT with the daily payouts is great. Yeah, so basically, this is how I would break it down, Jeremy. If a trader trades a strategy where you're allowing that trade to wiggle around a lot and you're looking for bigger price targets, you're probably not going to do well with a firm that trails or an account that trails, right? Because let's say, for example, you're in a trade and you're up 25 points and the trade comes back, you know, it breaks even. Great. It's a break even trade, right? Wrong. On the trailing, you're going to be down 25 points. So a lot of traders like to bitch and complain about the apex and the trailing drawdown accounts. What are you bitching and complaining for? Don't trade it. If your strategy requires you to not have an account that trails, you know, go with somebody who doesn't trail, right? Top Step doesn't trail. You know, you guys can start listing the accounts that don't trail, but there's firms that don't trail, right? But if you're a scalper, like for me, I'm a scalper. Like I'm a high watermark guy. So like I get in, I'm green, I'm out, right? You know, I'm not really gonna let it go in my favor 20 points and then stop me out at break even. It's like either I got 10 to 20 points profit or I lost 20 points off the jump. It is what it is. So like that doesn't really matter because every winning trade kind of keeps me at that upper echelon of my trailing drawdown, and I'm not really letting it trail. The people who have a problem trailing, like that with Apex and stuff like that, are typically traders who, you know, they're playing those bigger like inverse fair value gap type trades, or you know, they're playing like big mean reversion trades where they're getting into those positions and they're letting it work for 50, 60, 70 points, and they're trading with some big size, you know, mini contract, 2 minis, 3 minis, and so forth. That's where you can get into a little bit of trouble with the drawdown. Yeah, end of day, yes. But the thing is like I've never really let the trailing drawdown affect me. I don't really know why people get so like they get so worked up about, oh well, I don't like the trailing drawdown, but shit guys, we shouldn't be letting it trail us down 2000, 2500 anyways, right? What's the problem here? Right? Like I don't think I've ever blown an account due to trailing drawdown unless it was because I blew the account to trailing drawdown. Does that make sense? So like if I take a trade, let's say I take two losers, it's not the trailing drawdown that's going to nip me in the ass. It's me trading too big a size and then winning a couple trades and then losing a big one because I had way too much size and then now the trailing drawdown got me. You know, it's not like I've traded 4, 5, 6 days in a row and it's just like the trailing drawdown's eating me up slowly. No, it's like that doesn't really happen. Yeah, like yeah, I mean we should be taking profits, before trailing drawdown is gonna nip us in the ass. We've been pulling back since 9:45 Pacific Standard Time. 9:45. About an hour and a half. We've been kind of pulling back slightly and consolidating. Is this going to pull back to dump or is it going to pull back to break out and breach this IB high? Right? I would say that as long as we're trading above 850, 821, we've got a better shot at going long here. You know, I don't really want to go short into this demand zone. Ever since reclaiming, I'm getting this demand zone from ever since we've reclaimed the 20 SMA on a 5-minute time frame. That was the range, right? So this is the range here. See that? That's the range. So we've kind of broken over. We've kind of back tested this. Are we going to get a little bit of an upside break here, right? We got a fresh 5-minute candle that just opened up here. This downline, this trend line is still acting as resistance here. I'd like to see us break and hold this area before I want to throw anything long. This is the hardest part about trading, right? Kind of sitting back, waiting for what you want to happen, right? Again, everyone trades differently. Maybe some people are in a trade here. Maybe some people are getting ready for a trade. I'm waiting for something to happen that aligns with my damn strategy, right? I need something to happen. I can't just say to myself that I think we're going to 890, so let me go long here. That could definitely happen, but I can also make a case for, well, maybe we just get rejected here again and we kind of fall back down, right? So I need to see something clear happen, and I need to analyze the risk. And then I still have to ask myself the question, do I want to take that risk, right? And if I can ask myself those 2-3 questions and I can get good enough answers for them, then I can take the trade. So like right here in this particular situation, what I'm analyzing, what I'm trying to figure out is, if we're still trading over our demand, okay, that's putting me in a little bit more bullish context, okay? If I close over this 20 SMA, what's the range here? Right now it's 7.5 points. That would be my stop loss, right? So I'd be giving myself about 8-9 points worth of risk, and I would be looking for the equivalent on the upside for a break to the, to start pushing towards 890s. Now, if we fall down and we close below this 20 SMA, that makes a case that we could be going short, but the next question is, do I want to go short into this demand? Right? Against my higher time frame bias. If I get any no's in those questions, well, then I can't take the trade. And that just makes me just sit longer and wait for something to where when I do ask myself those questions, now I can take the trade. No, AJ, I'm not. It's just audio. So we'll see if I can get one more trade here. Again, I am trading an evaluation, so I'm not opposed to taking another trade. $21,871. $21,871 with about an 8-point stop loss would be something I'm interested in. All right, we're in this trade here, guys. Had a stop by there. Again, ATR is 13 points. If I can get 6 to 8 points on this, I'll be okay. Just a quick little 1-to-1 on that. Again, this zone here is going to be, where the hell I'm going to get out. If we start to fall through the bottom of this zone here, which is getting quickly rejected, I'm going to have to take the quick loss on it. Very stiff rejection there. And that's it. Once I'm in the trade, I can't do anything about it, right? Like there's nothing to manage here. It's either, you give me my points or I walk away with the loss, right? I've got this box here for a visual to, as long as I'm trading inside this box, which it's going to break through on the bottom side, it feels like. As long as I'm trading in this box here above my reason why candle, I just let it do its thing, right? starts to break down below that box, well, you know, I'm not going to want to be in that trade too much longer. So we just keep it pushing, right? We keep it pushing. Like I said, you know, ATR is 13 points. If I can get, you know, 7 to 10 points on this thing, I'll just take that quick scalp. It's going to be an equal loss, which 7 to 10 points on the NAS, you know, considering it's not that big of a stop loss. So it's a little bit of a tighter trade here. But we just respect the rules and we just keep it pushing, right? Again, it's not a whole lot to decipher here. You know, can I get 8 points before I get stopped out for 10, right? Like, can I get 8 points? Can I get 10 points before I get stopped out for 8? That's all I'm looking at here, you know. Basically break even in this trade, 2 points, 3 points, 2.5 points. Again, I have my Project X set up in points, so I don't really keep track of dollar amounts. I just know how many points I'm up or down. You know, I'm looking for a half ATR here, maybe 7 to 8 points. Since that is my risk. We're just having a hard time here. We are making lower highs as well. You know, if you look at this high here at 885, you look at this high here at 878, you look at this high here at 874, we are punching lower highs, so it doesn't really have like a lot of juice here. You know, we need the juice, guys. We need the juice. Without juice, you know, without the momentum, it doesn't matter what you're taking. It's all kind of irrelevant. It's all kind of irrelevant here. I got 1 minute on this candle to close, so I'm going to wait for a candle to close outside my zone before I take a stop loss on it. Again, we're not giving up that many points to begin with here. 7.5 points to begin with here, but if the new candle opens up and that confirms the outside of this range, then I will get out. So on the candles that are currently in motion, if it's kind of like wicking below my zone, but it's still in here, I don't get out unless that candle closes below. And now I take the loss. So we're going to take a 9-point loss on that trade there. Just no juice there, guys. No juice. Again, it could still go later. Now I got to figure out something else, right? I got to figure out something else. So is this going to, you know, was this just a quick wick before it shoots up? I don't know. Maybe, right? Maybe. You know. But again, I would rather take an 8 to 9 point stop loss all day than to have this tread down 20, 30 points. Again, losses are going to happen, right? Losses are going to happen. We just got to deal with them. We just got to deal with them, guys. Still holding. The 15-minute chart still looks good long. You know? But we'll see here. We'll see here, guys. Candle's getting a little jumpy here. Still looks good to the long side. We are holding that previous demand zone. But I would, for the long, I want to see it close outside this trend line here. We keep wicking above it and then coming right back down. I want to see it hold that area. It would give me a little bit more, confidence that it's going to push higher. So we've got to close now below this 20 SMA. Previous candle is 9 points. That's not bad. So previous candle is 9 points. I kind of keep an eye on this here. I want to see, this is working a two-sided trade. This is like a two-sided trade idea here with a little bit more lean to the long side until we really kind of break this whole floor here. Okay? So I'd like to see a break and close over. That way I can kind of use this 10 points here as a demand, right? I can kind of use this as a demand to try to play this on a breakout to test IB highs at 890. But I need to see it hold, though. I do have a 15-minute support sitting down at 850, so that's really not that far down. I could see a quick flash down there before we start to bounce. So there's a lot of scenarios that start playing through my head. I don't really let all of the scenarios get too confusing. I just need to fucking wait. I need to wait until it looks really, really clear to me. Again, like if you find yourself in a spot where you're like, oh shit, I need to be going short. Oh, no, 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 I'm going to go long. You're all screwed up. Just get your butt off the screens now and go take a walk, right? Go take a walk. Like if you're getting all antsy right now because you feel like you're going to miss the move, you're fucking done. You're done already. So just wait. Just hang tight here. We are confirming the previous 5-minute candle to the downside here. Your stop loss would be above the previous 5-minute candle high if someone's looking to go short and play this into demand. Or if you're waiting for the long, you've got to close outside this box. You've got to close outside that box. 5-minute 20 SMA short here with about a 10-point stop is a setup. I'm in this setup here up about 5 points. It is springy price action. It's kind of just fucking consolidating in the zone, so I got to have a very quick trigger finger here. I'm only up 4.5 points, 5 points, 6 points, 7. That's about a half ATR right now. ATR is at 14.8. I'm just gonna take the 7 points there. I'm gonna take the 7 points as it fell into that previous demand zone. Again, it could definitely come lower, but you know, like this is the only thing that I'm focusing on here. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see this shit. Down here on the right hand side, I've got the ATR at 14. Any setup for me, then I fucking would have paid great. But any setup for me is like I'm looking for either half the ATR or full ATR. Anything in between is fine. So 7, 8, 9 points is fine. 14 points is obviously beautiful, you know, but I would need to see the price action move really, really quickly to get that. The setup is this, right? We got rejected at the trend line. We closed below the 20 SMA, right? This is not fucking rocket science. We closed below the 20 SMA. This is my box. So this would be, you know, if I was to write on it, this is my supply. So as long as I am trading below my supply zone or inside my supply zone, it's an active short. Like just like how, just like how on the other quick trade where I lost some points. It's the same idea, right? It's the same idea. But I gotta be a little bit quicker with that trigger finger because we are running into like a 15-minute support system here. Now again, if this breaks down through the bottom of this zone here, you definitely have a lot of room to 820. You know, that would be testing VWAP. Did anyone take that short position again? You would have to have been looking for that 20 SMA trade. But again, I mean, I try to make it as clear as possible. Like, hey guys, like we're confirming the previous 5-minute candle low. Like you got a 9-point stop here if you want to take this short. And again, like that's the thing. If you just trust your strategy, you get out where you're supposed to get out. Are you going to win every trade? No, you're not. But like you're going to be okay. Like you're going to be okay. We've moved the P&L to 394.60, right? We've added some cash. We've taken a loser on stream. We've taken a winner on stream. Like it's not that hard. Like I'm really trying to, like this is all I'm focusing on. I'm trying to stay as far the fuck out of my own way as possible and just do what the chart's telling me to do. Okay? The chart confirmed the 20 SMA, right? Like I'll go to the loser first. The chart confirmed the 20 SMA. Great. The chart confirmed the high of that 20 SMA. Great. The chart fucking broke down the bottom of it. I'm out. The chart told me we got rejected. The chart told me we just closed below 20 SMA. Now I've got a supply zone. Great. Get short on the confirmation. ATR was 14 points. Great. If you can take profits between anything between half an ATR, 7 to 14 points, that's a winning trade. Now, can you hold it longer? Sure, you would have made a lot more money holding it longer, but just make sure you move your stop loss to break even, this, that, and the other, right? Like, I'm not really like I don't really trail my shit. I'm in, I'm out. Like that's it. I live and die with what I can scrape, right? I'm like a freaking panhandler. I'm just trying to scrape all the little crumbs that I can get, you know? And again, well, I mean, we're taking 6 trades today. We're up 394. It's not bad. Trading micros, it's not bad, guys. It's not bad. You know, we can definitely walk away here and be okay with ourselves. We can definitely walk away and be okay with ourselves. You know, don't focus on the dollar amount. Like I told you, my Project X platform, I've got it set up in points. So like because I work a lot of my take profit stop losses off of ATR. So like, I don't want to know if I'm up $100. I don't want to know if I'm up $50. I want to know how many points am I up, right? If I'm looking for 7 to 14 points on a scalp and I see it floating at 8, 9 points, 10 points, 12 points, 7 points, 8 points, I'm in my zone here. Like I've got to take those profits. right? I'm in my zone. The same thing, if I'm giving up 9 points here, I don't really care if I'm down $500. Well, I could be trading 10 mini contracts. I want to know how far away from I from losing 10 points. Like, if I'm holding a position and I know that I was only supposed to be giving up 10 points and I'm holding the damn position 20 points against me, I fucked up, right? Like, I made a problem there. Like, so that's why I work everything in points. I hope that makes sense. Again, you're not going to win every trade. You're just not, especially when the market is kind of more choppy. Like, I got 2 setups within 10 minutes back to back of each other. One was long, one was short. Great. One lost, one won. And we still came out profitable on that, right? But a lot of times people they don't fire the trade back again. Like, you take the loss on the long and then you just completely hesitate on the short because you're all bent out of shape about what happened on the previous long, that you missed the potential winning trade. As long as you're at the trade station, as long as you're in front of the PC, as long as it's inside your rules of trading that specific time, if you get a setup and you are not at your daily loss limit, you better be firing the setup. Win, lose, or draw. You better be firing. Because if you're not firing, you're missing out. You're missing out. Just let the numbers play out. At the end of the day, if you scratch out, you scratch out. Right? End of the day, you're down money, you're down money. Right? Go call your mama. Go cry to her about it. End of the day, you're up money, you're up money. Great. What do we do tomorrow? The same damn thing we did today. That's a hell of a bounce off that previous demand zone that we have. We can make a case for that was a double bottom there. Look at the hammer candle that presented itself. You could have actually done something like, where's my drawing tool? You could have done something like this. Once we swept out, double bottom here, boom, this is your stop loss. We confirm coming out of that. This is your range, right? This becomes your demand. If we break through it, you're out of the trade. And if we hold, you stay in this trade, back up to supply and sell out. Again, depends on how quick of a trader you are, if you like that in and out type of stuff. But I mean, this candle here said a lot. That candle said a lot. And it's up 853 to 864. It's up about 11 points. So if you keep the same mindset, if ATR is 14 and we're looking for 7 to 14 points, you were up 11. What's the harm in taking 10, 11 points? What's the harm in taking 8 points? Oh, well, I thought it was going to continue to go up. Right? Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. Be nice to yourself, right? Be nice to yourself. Be nice to yourself. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this trading day. We're outside of my trade window now. I don't trade power hour, and we're approaching power hour. So I know the longer that I sit here, I will continue to find setups, but it's not really a time frame that I like to trade. So I am not going to trade. And the best way for me not to trade is to get up, go take a walk, get out of the house, get off the screens, forget about today, come back tomorrow. I'll catch all of you guys on the next one. Make sure to like this live stream if you guys were on YouTube. Again, toss me a comment if you guys want to find me. All of the information is down in the description box below. Also, guys, Apex is back. Again, they're always back with an 80% off sale. You guys can use code DAnthony. Daytraders.com is offering 90% off because they just launched Project X platform on their firm. You guys can also, I don't know if you use my discount code with day traders or not, but there's a link down in the description. I think if you guys use the link, I get credit for it. They toss me a cup of coffee for everyone who signs up. Full transparency there. It's what keeps the channel afloat and going. But I will see all of you guys on the next video. Until next time, guys, trade safe.